Hi chums, this is not about gardening or greenhouses or anything, it's about a bandsaw. I'm doing this for the guys on a wood turning forum called Wood Turners Resource. Um, they've been waiting for 5 years to see this bandsaw and it's finally arrived. I mentioned yesterday in the video about when it was in here that I spent 5 years waiting for this bandsaw. Well, it wasn't for this particular one, but I wanted a Startrite because that little saw is probably about 20 years old, and these were built at a time when made in England meant something. Now, I'm not going to knock Chinese stuff because I've got that saw there is probably Chinese and it's absolutely superb. I've had good luck with Chinese stuff. That lathe over there, like there's what would be about, I don't know, but those are about $1,500 now for that lathe, and that's made in either South Korea or Taiwan. And that one there, that little copycat jet, is made in China and it's perfect. But I think Chinese stuff gets a lot of abuse because people go to the pound store and the dollar store and they buy 2 dozen box knives and they aren't maybe great quality and they just apply that to everything. But there have been some issues on bandsaw quality from what I've been reading on forums and stuff, that it's just not exactly as it should be. Now it will be eventually, but I was going to have to spend a lot of money to get a bandsaw of the same quality as this. So I waited and waited and I finally got this one. Now I had a budget of about £1,500, well, say $2,000 to buy a bandsaw, and I got this one for £250, which is what, about $400. Those are they're going for about £600 to £700 on eBay. So I was very happy with that. This bandsaw has hardly been used, but you see this here. Look, that wheel hasn't even got a mark on it, and this one here has got a mark here on the rim. But the reason it's got that mark is because this guard here was set right down, so at that point there was touching the saw, the wheel there, and it was never moved. It looked like it was never moved from the machine was set up originally. So it's only ever cut really thin stuff. So when I took it apart, a bandsaw is a very simple machine, as you know, and I took it apart and the guides weren't even worn on it. They were still in perfect condition. So that was good to see. A couple of measurements. This is one of these tapes that it comes out and stays out. Right, depth of cut about 8.5 inches. Whoops, there we are. About 8.5 inches, and the throat is almost 4. Oh, over there it is. High. I'm still getting used to it, that the camera has to be in front of the thing rather than the screen. But almost 14 inches throat. So it's more than ample for anything I'm going to do. That little jig there, just made that little jig for cutting pen blanks. It's just made with corian and that miter slot is kind of an oddball shape or size, so it's hard. I tried another miter gauge in it and it didn't fit at all, so I just made that out of a piece of corian and it worked. I'll just fire this thing up. Now this button here has been disabled because up there is where you started. It looks like this was a safety thing. This was owned originally by a trust, the Forest Trust or the Woodlands Trust, and it didn't do much work. But it looks like that because if they were in a sort of a semi-professional capacity, it looks like it must have been some sort of health and safety consideration. So they put this switch here on, and it's great because it means that you have to come away from the saw to start it. Children can't get near it. And it runs fairly quietly compared to other bandsaws I've used and seen. It runs fairly quietly. That blade there That is a blade from Ian at Tough Saws, Tuffsaws. That's a 1/2 inch with 4 teeth per inch, and it's a super blade. I have never used a bandsaw before as such, and I was just amazed at how easily I'd cut stuff. Now I'm not going to cut stuff now because I've only got one hand free, and I don't want to take any risks. So that's the bandsaw for the guys in the forum. There it is. I'm in a very fortunate position that I get told off by my wife for not buying tools. Her attitude is, if you need something and the money's there, you go and buy it. She does that, and she seems to live a quite happy, contented, guilt-free life. Everything I go to buy, I have to justify it and rationalise it and justify it again and agonise over it. And then when I do buy it, I feel guilty. And instead of just going and buying the thing, you know, but that's just the way I am. So she was delighted I got this because she knows how much I wanted one, and she'd been at me for the last 5 years to just go and buy the bandsaw. But as you know, I kept putting it off and putting it off. I almost had one bought and missed it due to other circumstances. I would have had it last November. A guy in Donegal very kindly made me a super offer to get me one at a particular price, and I let him down in the end because I couldn't get it, and I didn't realise he's only 11 miles from here when he had it with him at a show. But there you go. So anyway, I've got my saw, I'm very happy, and that's how it is now. So one Startrite 351. Incidentally, this saw was very popular in schools, so if they go into schools, they're good. There's another wee thing there, a light. That's an old angle poised light that I had, and the kids, that must be 30 years old, and it doesn't even support its own weight properly. What do you say? It just falls down. It just falls down lovely because you turn it on and you've got the light where you want it. So that worked out nice. And then I can turn it around and use it on the other saw as well. So good job. So that's it, folks. The reason I'm doing this video as well is because it's taken 25 minutes per minute to upload video in standard form. So I've got this on long play, and I'm hoping that it'll not take just as long to upload it. So there's 8 minutes now, so I'll give that a go and see how long it takes. So all the best now. Bye bye.